How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm just going to recap what happened at UFC Vegas 88, Tuivasa vs. Tybura. Let's get right into this shit. We start with the main event, Tuivasa versus Marcin Tybura. Didn't even make it to the second round as Marcin found his way under Ty's neck. The only thing I could tweet was I'm going to kill myself because this is Tuivasa's fourth straight loss in a row, all ending by finish. This one hurts a little bit more than all the other ones. Because here's the thing. I knew that I picked against him in all the three other fights. I knew Pavlovich was going to put it on him. I knew Gane was going to put it on him. I knew that Alexander Volkov was going to use his range and get up on him. This was the first fight that was truly winnable for Tuivasa, if I'm being honest. They gave him murderer's row for 3 straight fights, in fights that a lot of people knew Ty wouldn't win. This fight seemed winnable, because Marcin Tybura, like Tuivasa, is a shorter heavyweight, and by that I mean like 6'3", who's fat, right? Doesn't have that great of a chin. All the other guys have pretty solid chins that he fought. And, you know, he's pretty open on the feet besides some head kicks that Marcin throws. He's pretty open, and we saw that in the first 10 seconds. Ty cut him open bad with an elbow. And I was like, oh shit, Ty's clipping him. He's hurting him. Marcin's running at him, plodding forward, trying to get a clinch position, and Tuivasa is throwing Superman elbows for some reason. Just keep with the fundamentals, Ty. You win this fight if you stay with the fundamentals, just throwing 1s and 2s down the pipe, because Marcin doesn't move his head at all. Here's where the problem started. Marcin Tybura goes for a takedown against the fence. He's got his hands under Ty's butt, and he's got hands clasped. The first time he tries to power Ty down, Ty defends well, because he has both his hands down, trying to push his hands up to a body lock. After that one fails, you would think, oh, Ty, just stay in that position. Just keep defending, pushing the hands up. But no. Ty instead decides, you know what? I'm just going to punch the shit out of Marcin Tybura's head with my right hand. Lands about 10 punches. He's just like, just throwing punches at the side of Marcin Tybura's head where his haircut, was missing. And Marcin, of course, when there's not 2 hands defending against this, gets the takedown. Ty did everything wrong on the ground to lead to him getting submitted. He did everything wrong. I don't understand how you're this deep in your career and you still have no ground awareness or ground fundamentals whatsoever. He legit gave up his back against Marcin Tybura almost immediately. The place you don't want to be when you're Tuivasa fighting Marcin Tybura. Like, he tried to frame off, get a hip at first, but then, he tried to just power his way up and ended up giving up his back. And he chose the worst of the two evils, just, sitting on his knees and hands, getting clobbered in the head with some heavy punches. They weren't heavy, but they were doing something. And Ty was just like, oh, yeah, brother, I eat these, brother. That's a Russian accent. That's not Tuivasa. He was like, I don't know even how to do a Tuivasa, but he's eating them. And then Marcin finds his neck. And at first, I'm like, there's no way Ty is going to survive this. There's a minute 40 left on the clock. Right? There's no way. He survives way longer than he should have. And today, a lot of people found out that you can choke someone out without being under the neck. Because I don't even think Marcin ever made it truly under the neck of Ty. He was choking on his chin. And we saw this in the Gerald Mearshart-Brian Barberena fight, which I'll talk about later. He choked him out without even getting fully on the blood. That's how fat Brian Barberena and Bam... Oh my God, they both Bam Bams lost by rear neck. Oh my God. Wow. That's crazy. That's actually wild. Never pick Brian Barberena and Tuivasa if they're on the same card. They both lose every time. I don't get it. Anyways, Marcin chokes out Ty, chokes him out. Everyone's depressed on MMA Twitter, like, no! I don't know what's next for Tai Tuivasa. A lot of people are saying him versus Robelis Despain. I don't even care anymore. Him versus fucking... Put him against the Blob for all I give a shit. Try and get him something. I don't know. Marcin Tybura, he'll probably fight Jailton Almeida next. Either him or Sergey Spivak. I don't know. Maybe they're... I think that'd be a rematch between those two guys. I don't know. Get something going for these two. Maybe the rematch with Volkov for Marcin. I don't know. But yeah, this fight, yeah, I'm so sad. I don't know what to do. I'm now 1-9 on main events. Oh, I can't wait. I can't fucking wait to get started on this fight. Oh my goodness. Brian Battle versus Angelusa, the co-main event. This fight's going how I thought it would go. Brian Battle using his range pretty well. Mostly just kind of pointing Angelusa. I think he hurt him a couple times. They weren't like visible damage, but you could tell by the legs. Because if you ever want to see if someone's truly hurt, you check the legs of them. They fucking buckle and stuff like that. Angelusa has a chin of a man who doesn't know he has a chin. So he just gets like... It keeps him alive somehow. I don't know if that makes any sense. The first round, clear Brian Battle. He almost mounted him at one point off a failed takedown attempt from Angelusa, I believe. Brian kind of fell into it. And then he was just teeping him to the body, landing good body kicks. Landed, I think, a good head kick. He was just jabbing his face off. Ange was landing stuff, but they weren't very good stuff. I think most of them were clinch strikes. He was hardly landing from range. He couldn't really find He couldn't find anything. And then, going into the second round, Angelusa goes to level change. It was a faint level change because he immediately comes up. Accidentally headbutts Brian Battle on the chin pretty hard. Just fucking boom. And then Brian Battle, trying to get a clinch position like a Muay Thai clinch, ends up scraping his eye with his thumb. And, you know, thumbs in the eye, they suck, right? And it was an accidental eye poke, right? He did poke him in the eye. You can visibly see him poke him in the eye. You can see it. But then we get the doctor come in. They're cold pressing the eye. His eye looks fine, by the way. Like, I'm not in Angelusa's position, right? So I don't know if he can't see, right? But his eye, I've seen many people get poked in the eye that are really bad. Their eyes are like, they're twitching shut. Like, it's the body, it responds to stimuli. It's like, oh, I don't like that. Don't open. The air hurts my eye right now. His eye, he looks fine. He doesn't even look like he got poked in the fucking eye. He looks literally fine. And then he blatantly says to the doctor, I can't see. I'm not mad at Angelusa. What I am mad at is the fact that in the UFC, you are given 5 minutes to recover. 5 full minutes. And some of these dudes, I don't know if the fighters know this. You are given 5... I don't even know if the doctors and refs know this. You're given 5 minutes. The doctors stopped the fight after 1:30. Right? What? This causes a fucking uproar. People are claiming Angelusa quit. I don't think he quit. I think he found a way out. I'm going to phrase it differently because I think saying the word quit is too harsh. But he found a way out, I think. I don't think he was really hurt that bad. And this isn't like an Aljamain Sterling, Piotr Jan knee, where it was like you can understand where that would actually hurt because that was a full-fledged knee to the fucking face. This legit felt like he quit. I know I just said I don't want... He quit. I'm changing my... He fucking quit, alright? I'm not... And the only reason why I think he quit was because after the fight, he gets all up in arms after Brian Battle calls him a pussy. Because that's what Angelusa is. He was a pussy. He quit. And Angelusa, I'm gonna fucking kill you! I fucking kill you! And then the most entertaining part of the entire broadcast happens. Brian Battle gets 2 minutes of mic time, calls Angelusa a fucking pussy-ass bitch, or a pussy-ass motherfucker, and just goes off on how Ange quit and this and that and bullshit like this. He got a post-fight press conference at the table. And yeah, I don't know. This fight, this whole card. We move to the featured fight. Kennedy and Nzechukwu versus OSP. Vince wins. I don't even know. I'm never picking Kennedy and Nzechukwu ever again. I don't know how. Maybe he fought so scared because he's been chinned so many fucking times now, right? He has been chinned quite a few times. But it's not like OSP is putting dudes out recently. OSP has looked pretty bad, and I think it's a fair assessment for the past couple of years. You can tell he's fighting to get that 50-50 bonus, that 50-50 paycheck, right? Or at least half. This fight, he actually looked pretty good. I'll admit. The first round, obviously, Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I think he lands the better, more powerful strikes. OSP is looking a little nervous. He doesn't really want to get hit by Kennedy because, of course, the power. The second round rolls around. OSP starts landing more and more shots. Kennedy can't find where OSP is. OSP's moving out of the way of everything others besides like a jab. Third round rolls around, I'm like, okay, this could be either 2-0 Kennedy or 1-1 tie. In the first, 50 seconds, boom! OSP drops Kennedy and Nzechukwu. Now, this is where the last round was one of the funnest rounds I've seen in a while. It was actually very fun. For, the last 3 minutes, they literally are just in the pocket, exchanging hooks and bullshit like that. Kennedy begins to win the round again. He starts to land good body shots. He starts to hurt OSP, but OSP's landing back. He actually rocks, I think, Kennedy again. And then the fight's over. And I'm like, well, this could go either way. Goes OSP, right? And I think it could go either way, depending with how the judges were tonight. It could have gone either fucking way. Let's be honest. Could have gone either way. And OSP wins. I'm happy for him, man. Should have won fight of the night. Very fun fight. But man, this minus 600 favorite, Kennedy and Nzechukwu. He is the master of busting parlays. I'm not saying I bet on him. Made him a confident pick, so if I did bet, he'd be on my parlay. Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Just fucking losing to OSP in 2024, Kennedy? Are you serious? I don't understand how... Oh, man, that's disgusting. That's actually gross. Losing to OSP. Now, I will admit, this was a refurbished OSP. He actually didn't look like an old man who just came into the octagon to get some money. He actually was being calm and patient. It looked more resemblant of his Shogun Hua fight, but actually a better version of him. Congrats to OSP. Kennedy and Nzechukwu, I'm never picking you. You could fight a literal fucking Uber driver. I'm not picking you to win. I feel bad, because I feel like I'm dogging on Kennedy right now. But it's like, man, you have so many tools to win this fight, and you didn't use any of them. He looks scared, and I think it's because he's been chinned so much. I think he became a little gun-shy in there. He needs to go back to just throwing caution to the wind, because that's how you beat OSP. You literally just rush at him, hit him a couple times, and he falls over. All right, let's go to the next fight. We move to Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dolgarian. This fight, a lot of people are calling it a robbery. Listen, the fight plays out like this. The first round, Isaac Dolgarian mauls Christian Rodriguez for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, absolutely ragdolling him, right? 10-8 round. If Khamzat Chimaev gets the 10-8 in round 1 against Kamaru Usman, where he didn't really throw much, Isaac Dolgarian did more than that. He actually cut open Christian Rodriguez, slammed him a couple times, Matt returned him a bunch of times, he fucked him up pretty good. 10-8. Round 3, Christian Rodriguez 10-8s, then 10-8s, Isaac Dolgarian. Isaac is severely gassed, he can't do anything, and He gets his back, lands multiple shots to his head. He flattens him out, lands multiple shots to his head. He's beating the shit out of him, right? Round 2. I literally just rewatched round 2. I just rewatched it. And the fact 2 judges gave this round to Christian Rodriguez angers me so much. It does. Listen, the strikes that Christian Rodriguez land, because the strike numbers in round 2 are very close. It's 15 to 12 total, 12 to 8 significant. Alright? Those are UFC numbers. I would understand if Christian landed something really big. The biggest strike he lands in this round is a knee to the face of Isaac Dogarian that doesn't do anything to him. It makes a cool noise, sure. It's like a like that. That's a terrible impersonation of it, but it sounds kind of like that. Isaac immediately takes him down and slams him. He immediately takes him down. Not a slam, he slams him later in the round. He immediately takes him down again, gets control, and yeah. Though he has 4 minutes of control in this round, most of which takes place in the clinch, but some part, I think a minute 30, minute 45 is on the ground, right? And it's not like Isaac didn't land anything, didn't land nothing. He landed stuff. On the feet even, he landed a leg kick that dropped Christian Rodriguez, mostly due to Christian Rodriguez being off balance, but still, that's not a good visual. He literally dropped him with a leg kick. And then on the feet, Isaac landed better shots on the feet even, into takedown attempts at the end of the round. Those punches steal everything that they did. They traded body knees. Every other strike to get him ahead was like a knee, like a body shot in the clinch that did nothing. It was thrown with 0 power. And then there's like an elbow or an attempt at an elbow that he threw. Christian didn't land anything really that significant to grant him that second round. Because 4 minutes of control. And it's not like the takedowns were like mat returns. Like, 2 of them were slams, which are damage counting factors, by the way. A lot of people don't understand that. Slam takedowns are damage. They are. It's written in the rule book. They are damage. I think that Isaac just did more. Man, it's not like Christian Rodriguez outstruck him like 30 to 12. He landed 3 more strikes than him. And those 3, like I said, were like a no power body shot. Christian got hit more on the feet. Most of the punches he landed were clinch strikes that did nothing to Isaac. Isaac dropped him with a leg kick. He landed like a 1-1-2 and then into a takedown that he held him for the rest of the round. I think it's a bad decision. I can understand how a judge will be like, oh, that knee looked really cool. Let's just give him the round. Right? I can understand that. But to think that a lot of people are like, he didn't, though. He really didn't. Oh, man, I'm going to fucking pop a blood vessel, dude. I hate this fight so much because, I knew this was going to happen. I knew Isaac was going to have to survive the third round. I knew he was going to have to. Right? But goddamn, man, it's just so aggravating. It's just so dumb. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the first time a 28-27 scorecard has ever been issued inside the UFC. Maybe I'm wrong. From what I remember, that's the only time I've ever seen something like that. This just shows to me that and Isaac Dogarian came out with a video that he claims that I didn't watch the whole thing because the only video I saw, he commented on posting the whole video or some bullshit. He accused Christian Rodriguez of greasing. I don't think he was greasing. Christian Rodriguez just sweats a lot. He does. He's a meatball. He fucking. And I will be the first. Christian Rodriguez is so good. He's very good. You can tell by the people he's beating. He's very talented. And the Raul Rosas and Cameron Simon fights are not robberies. He totally beat them. This fight was closer, but a clear winner in Isaac Dogarian. It is what it is. You know, both of these guys will bounce back. Christian will eventually get fraud checked. Eventually. He will. I don't want to see him lose because I think that's pussy shit to wish a loss on somebody. But like, Isaac will be back. He needs to work on his cardio definitely. I know he works with altitude, but like prepare for 5 rounds at this point, so you can have that 3 rounds of energy. You know what I'm saying? So, very fun fight, but I think there was a clear winner in Isaac Dolgarian. We move to Pannie Kianzad versus Macy Chiasson. Macy Chiasson won by first round submission. This fight kind of played out how the first one did a little bit. Pannie was doing pretty well early on. She was actually stunning Macy on the feet. Macy couldn't really find her grounding under her because she's been out for so long. And Pannie was landing good shots. She actually got a takedown of her own. Macy was looking for clinch exchanges. And then Pannie, in an attempt to get up, Macy latches on her hooks in a back take, which was very, very impressive. Very good decision as well, as it led to the finish. And she's fighting. Pannie lets her get her hand on her chin. Not her hand, her arms on the chin. She's going for a fulcrum choke, I think is what it's called. This is the one that Khabib did to Conor or whatever, where it's on the chin. It's like a neck crank. And she's cranking her neck, and then as it seems like she found the hand and she's looking to get it out of it, Macy slips her elbow under the chin of Pannie and ends up choking her out. Not choking her out, Pannie taps like wild. Macy wins her fight back. Very impressive out from Macy Chiasson. She proved that she did have a little ring rust on the feet. She was getting tagged up, but a good way to bounce back after, losing to Irene Aldana in a very weird fight, after winning the first 2 and then a body TKO, weird circumstances. And then, she gets the sub over Pannie Kianzad. Very, very impressive. I think it's the same way she got her out in the first fight. I think it was a submission. I forget if it was rear naked, but yeah. Macy, of course, long time out. Good win for her. I don't know what's next for her. She said, "I'm next," as if she deserves a title shot. I mean, women's bantamweight, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. I don't even give a shit anymore. Fight whoever you want. We move to Gerald Mearshart versus Bryan Barberena, the second of the Bam Bams to fall, or the first in, theatrical order. But anyways, Gerald looked very good. He looked very, very good. He looked super good. He was even doing well on the feet with Bryan Barberena. He was tagging him. He had good head movement. Bryan couldn't really find a way to land anything. His takedown attempts looked pretty good, and I know that's not really saying much because he did it to Bryan Barberena, but still, very impressive performance from GM3. You love to see it, man. And Bryan Barberena, I don't know what he's doing at middleweight. At this point, go up to light heavyweight. See how big you can get. I'm not I'm saying that as a joke, but that's something that Bryan Barberena probably would do. Yeah, Gerald Mearshart looked pretty good. In the first round, he couldn't find a finish because Bryan Barberena was able to fend him off. Second round, he gets the choke, not even under the chin. He's choking him on his chin, and he finds the blood somehow. You got to choke real fucking hard to do so. He ends up choking him unconscious. And I think in the first time ever this ever happens in the UFC, Gerald Mearshart, when he gets up, he lifts the legs up of Bryan Barberena. Now, if you don't understand, jiu-jitsu, if you've never been a part of the community, whenever you do this, whenever someone gets choked unconscious to restore blood back to the brain, you help restore life back to the person, basically. It resuscitates them. He tried to resuscitate Bryan Barberena. And the ref was like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude. I'll do it." He's like, okay. Killer mustache from Gerald Mearshart. Killer of a performance. Yeah, GM3's back, baby. Let's go. We move to the featured prelim, Mike Davis versus Natan Levy. This fight went probably about as well as I thought it would go. Mike Davis, in the first, 13 seconds, absolutely blasts Natan Levy with a straight right hand and knocks him down, and then controls him for basically the rest of the round. beating, like, just looking for submissions, very calm and collected. He doesn't throw any punches. It's mostly just him looking for submissions. And then Mike Davis in the second round, we make it to the second round, Tom Levy survives. And Tom Levy's finding a little bit of success on the feet, trying to figure out where he can land stuff. Mike Davis then takes him down and ends up choking him with a head and arm choke. And Tom Levy taps on his own hand. For some reason, he was like, I don't want to touch him when he's choking me, so I tap my own hand. And, yeah, Mike Davis wins his return after 2 years yet again. This is what Mike Davis does. He comes back every 2 years and beats the shit out of an up-and-coming contender who's on a good win streak. And just like, yeah, I'll beat the shit out of this guy for you. He beat the shit out of him. He absolutely worked this guy. And he's like, I don't want to hurt people, but I'm very good at it. Dude, with your skill set at lightweight, you can compete. Your 2 losses in your career are to Sadiq Youssef, like 6 years ago, and Gilbert Burns, again, like 6 years ago. You can compete in this division. So fucking good. You have no idea. His striking looked very clean. He stalked him down. He's a fucking big guy as well. Mike Davis is fucking big. Jacked. He's fucking built for tough. And he's just like, I don't want to fight. I do this as a hobby. This is basically what he said in the post-fight interview. He's like, I do this as a hobby. You are good. So good. Just fight. Dude. You can win a lot of money doing this. Just saying. You could get a good contract instead of fighting every 2 years for 2020. Just saying. 20K to win, 20K to show. You know, you can win way more than that. You can get more than that. If you finish guys like this every time, you're looking at a ranking spot in your next 2 fights. Just fight. Please, Mike Davis, we beg of you. Every time you fight, we love it. So do it more often, please. We love to see you. Just fight. Just start sucking him off. We love to see you fight, Joe. We love to see you fight, Mike Davis. Please, just fight. But yeah, please fight more, Mike Davis. You're so fucking entertaining, dude. Josiane Nunes versus Chelsea Chandler. This fight mostly happened to be that it was mostly Josiane Nunes piecing up Chelsea Chandler on the feet because she has no stand-up awareness. She's just big for no reason. And then Chelsea would fall on top of Josiane Nunes, and Josiane Nunes couldn't get back up. Swear to God, that's how the fight was. Whenever I got to the ground, Josiane couldn't get up just because of the fact that Chelsea Chandler probably weighs, I'd say, 30 more pounds than her on fight night. I don't know why Josiane Nunes fights at bantamweight. You're 5'2". Cut a little bit more. Let's cut down a little bit more. Shave a bit of the chunk off. All right, Chelsea is a bigger lady. She is. And I thought Josiane Nunes, she's fought ladies like this. She'll be able to get back up. Nope. Chelsea laid on top of her and landed good ground and pound. And I see some people arguing that Josiane Nunes could have won off of damage. Blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. Sure, I guess. Maybe. She was hitting her very hard on the feet. But, like, you can't really... I think that Chelsea Chandler deserved to win. She got the win. I think it'd be more of a bad decision if Josiane Nunes won, because Chelsea Chandler obviously won rounds 1 and 2. She couldn't find a takedown in the third because she's so big and she gassed. And then Josiane was throwing the same thing over and over again, just the left overhand double. And she ended up rocking her a couple of times. And Chelsea was just like, just let me run away. And then that's going to haunt Chelsea for the rest of her life. But yeah, Chelsea won, so good win for her. Jafel Filo versus Ode Osborne, or Ode Osborne, I forget who was in the red corner and whatnot. I don't really give a shit. This fight, very impressive from Jafel Filo. Gets the takedown almost immediately, is beating the hell out of Ode Osborne on the ground, gift wrapping him, landing good ground and pound, and then flattens him out, gets him to top mount, gets him on his back, and ends up choking him unconscious. Not unconscious, but he chokes him. And rear naked choke in the first round, like I said. Ode Osborne, his ground awareness again kills him, because he has no idea what he's doing when he's on his back. Has no idea what he's doing. He'll throw up some lackadaisical fucking arm bars and bullshit like that, but this fight he didn't even try and do that. He was like, I gotta get back up, I gotta get back up. Jafel Filo was landing good shots on the feet too. And Ode couldn't really do anything in this fight. Again, proving that he isn't really that good of a fighter. Maybe Jafel Filo's just that good. Maybe. This proves again that Muhammad Mokaev is just a little better than some people in the division. I don't really know. He kind of frauded his way to beating Jafel Filo. Jafel was winning. And, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, very impressed with Jafel Filo. Very good win. And I don't know who we're going to see him against next. Probably another unranked flyweight. Or maybe they push him as another guy in the division because flyweight needs... God knows it needs more people. Holy fuck. Josh Culibao versus Danny Silva. Honestly, I wouldn't have been mad if you gave this fight to Joshua Culibao, if I'm being honest. I think he landed... I think you could argue he won that first round, and he did win the first round on all judges' scorecards. And I think he won the second round pretty clearly. I'm more shocked that collectively the judges gave the first round to Josh in the first, but two of them gave the second round to Danny. That's more shocking to me. Because I thought that Josh, the clearest round for him was round 2. But two of them gave it to Danny. I personally think Josh was the better fighter tonight. And I know that Danny probably... Oh, shit, Jesus Christ. I know Danny probably did more damage in that first round, but even then you can't... Josh was landing some pretty good shit on Danny. The third round was all Danny Silva. He was kind of piecing up Josh a little bit. Clearly won round 3. And if he didn't rock Josh in the first 5 seconds of the fight, I think you give that fight to Josh Culibao. And I think you can argue that he even should have won it anyways. He landed a lot of good shit in the first round. Danny Silva is very entertaining. And I can't wait to watch him because he's just going to have fun fights over and over and over again. But yeah, I think you could honestly give that fight to Josh, if I'm being honest. I'm not mad that I went to Danny because I picked Danny Silva. But I can see how some people would give that fight to Josh Culibao. I personally scored it to Josh, if I'm being honest. I thought he won rounds 1 and 2. Of course, damage, you can sway that round to Danny Silva in the first, but I don't know. Danny was getting clipped a couple times, too. The first round was pretty close. Jacqueline Amorim versus Corey McKenna. Jacqueline goes to her back, gets the arm bar. I thought Corey was doing well early on the feet. I didn't think she was going to get submitted the way she did, but goddamn did Jacqueline submit her quick. Very impressed with how quick she was able to handle this fight and how she was able to get the sub off her back against a lady wrestler like Corey McKenna, who is pretty fundamentally sound down there. Very impressed. Jacqueline keeps impressing everybody after her debut that went sideways pretty quick. Yeah, Jacqueline was able to get the submission. Very impressive. And she honestly probably submitted Corey McKenna 3 times. Because it looked like Corey tapped, and then the ref was like, "Oh, stop! Whoa, wait, no, keep going, keep going." And the fight honestly could have been stopped way sooner. Corey was contemplating tapping multiple times, but she didn't because she's a strong little Wales lady. But then eventually she had to tap because Jacqueline was about to shred her fucking arm in half by placing it on her hip and twerking it. Yeah, I don't know what's next for Jacqueline. I don't know if that gets her a ranking spot. I mean, Corey McKenna was pretty close to being ranked. But yeah, very impressive win by Jacqueline Amorim. Can't wait to see what's next for her. Thiago Moises versus Mitch Ramirez. This fight was brutal to watch at a certain point. Thiago Moises ended up getting Mitch Ramirez tired because he is so goddamn big and muscly for lightweight. Made him gas out via the grappling. He was kind of piecing him up on the ground, looking for submissions. But even on the feet, The key component for this win was the leg kicks from, look at Mitch Ramirez's fucking leg. Oh my fucking God, he tenderized it. That's disgusting. That's actually gross. Great win from Thiago. He's back in the win column after the Benoit Saint Denis fight. Against a very lesser of opponent, but this shows Thiago's improving. He is. Mitch Ramirez did everything that you can do to try and beat Thiago, which is just like pressure, but he wasn't able to do it enough because he gassed out so quick, and he's just a lesser of a fighter than both like Joel Alvarez and Benoit Saint Denis, but what are you going to do about it? Very impressed with Thiago Moises. Get him back on the main card. I don't really give a shit. I was actually surprised they made him the second fight of the night, if I'm being honest. The start of the card, Charalampos Gregorio versus Chad Anheliger. Charalampos isn't that good, man. I overhyped him a little bit. He's not that great. He got a fraudy win on the Contender Series. I don't know. Chad Anheliger won the rounds 1 and 3. 3 definitely. Gregorio was doing well early on in the fight with like grappling and bullshit like that, clinching stuff. He cut open Chad Anheliger. But Chad weathered the storm of, I don't know how you train with Merab Dvalishvili and Aljamain Sterling and have such shitty cardio, wrestling-wise. I don't understand how wrestling gasses you. You train with Merab, man. It wasn't like they were striking all the time. Most of the time it was, like, pretty clinch-based. And Chad was winning, even in the first round. He was tagging up Charalampos. He's not that good. I'm sorry. That was a shitty pick from me. I'm sorry. I'll be better. UFC Vegas 88 made me want to kill myself. I went 5-7-1. I think the second time I've gone negative this year, the first time being UFC 297. A lot of bullshit happened on this card. Yeah, we got 3 more weeks of this bullshit to go until UFC 300. Next week, we go back in the Apex again for fucking Amanda Hebos versus Rose Namajunas. That sounds like such a good card. Co-main event by Carl Williams and Justin Tava. Dude, I can't wait to watch this. I can't wait. Can you wait? I can't wait. Son of a fucking bitch.